Welcome back to Joe Sends Rarest Photos. Hope you have a wonderful weekend, or had a wonderful weekend, I should say, and that your Monday is going to be just as good today. We're going to read some more of Andrew's dissertation research on Priscilla and Softly As I Leave You, but I did want to make an announcement and ask of you to do a few things for me. So I am going to be releasing a book. It will be January 1st. And it's going to be a companion book to Are You Lonesome Tonight? That's full of all the research that I've done, that we have done as a channel. Sandy Kirkendall is a huge researcher that's worked with me a lot over the last year and a half, sending me documents. And I'm going to read a small little snippet, but before I do, my email address is rareelvisphotos@gmail.com. I need everybody who's watching this video that has an email, and I think that's a lot of you, to send me an email. And this is why. I'm going to be offering it to y'all for $1.99 for the first week when it comes out January 1st. Everybody that buys it is also going to get entered into a drawing for an autographed book, copy of the book, and that's going to get sent to you, of course, at my expense, and I will be giving at least 50 copies away. So, if you don't have Kindle yet, Amazon. Everybody has an iPhone. You'll be able to download it on iBook. It'll be available on all major platforms. Kindle, Amazon, and like I said, I'm going to keep it at $1.99. So before I get to reading more of Andrew here, and before I got to head into work, let me just kind of give you the prologue, so you'll have an idea maybe of how it's going to be written. And I have sent the first couple chapters to Dario Matera, by the way. He didn't know anything about this. Nobody really did. I'm a songwriter, and I've been a writer in my life. I've written stories and smaller little books, and I never did anything when I was younger. But it's going to be called my part of the story. I first read Are You Lonesome Tonight around the time that I was a 17-year-old singing at Don's American Barbecue in 29 Palms, California. I was just a kid then, a young country singer with a head full of dreams and a voice that was already beginning to carry me from one dusty stage to another. And when I opened Lucy's story for the very first time, something in it struck me so deeply that I carried it with me for more than 3 decades. And I believed it. Long before I had charted country hits, long before I wrote songs with and for country music legends, long before I wrote TV theme songs, long before I built a YouTube channel dedicated to Elvis Presley's history, and long before I ever imagined that I would help restore a woman's truth to its rightful place, Lucy's story stayed with me. Life happened, of course, in between. Tours, writing rooms, raising a family, countless nights on stage. And then, later in life, with more years behind me than ahead of me, I picked up the book again. And this time, I believed it even more. And you believed it even more. Not long after, a subscriber on my YouTube channel reached out and told me they had a connection, a direct line to Dario Matera, the best-selling author who co-wrote Lucy's story. They'd watched my research, seen the passion in my work, and felt I was someone who would oversee the truth with respect. Now, before long, I found myself in long, detailed conversations with Matera. Many of y'all have watched those conversations, by the way. Hours of timelines, memories, clarifications, deep dives into Lucy's life and Elvis's hidden history. And, more recently, I've read through the book several times. I've done research. I've cited sources. And somewhere along that unexpected road, I realized something very important. This was not just Lucy's story anymore. It had become part of mine and part of yours. This book and the restoration of Lucy, Elvis, and Desiree's truth is a result of that journey. It began with a 17-year-old singer holding a paperback book as I walked into a barbecue restaurant, and it followed me across decades, miles, and music until the truth finally circled back and asked something of me. And when the truth finds you like that, you follow it. That's the prologue. I can tell you a few things about the book. It's going to have somewhere around 75 to 90,000 words. Going to be somewhere around 12 to 15 chapters. It's already written. I'm actually just editing it all right now. I'm going to be taking some time off of work to be doing this, and it's going to mean long hours, but that's fine. Anyhow, let me know what you think of that. Email address, rareelvisphotos@gmail.com. Send me an email. And in the subject title, if you want to put it there, you can put pre-order, whatever. I just want your email addresses so I can shoot you an email and say, hey, it's live online. Here's some links where you can go get it. You're going to pre-order it, and then I'm going to enter you into a drawing for autographed copies of the actual physical book. Okay? I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about this, and I'm excited to shine some more light on the Lucy and Elvis story, because I think there's a lot of credence to it, and there's more research now that can be done than could have been done in 1987, which actually gives strength. It strengthens the story. It really does. So, all right, let's get into to reading more of the writing that Andrew, who was so kind enough to send this to me, wanted to address. Okay. And let's see here, Patricia. So we read through 6. Okay. So we're in the process of reading about Priscilla. Okay. All right. And I think we started this the last time, but I'm going to read some more. Okay. Priscilla Presley was born May 24th, 1945, and is the former wife of Elvis Presley from 1967 to 1973, leaving Elvis already in 1971 for a karate instructor who was only making $25,000 a year. She later had numerous relationships with Terry O'Neill, Robert Kardashian, Michael Edwards, and Marco Garcia Garibaldi, besides regretting her first affair with her dancing instructor, Steve Peck, in 1968. Her main desire in life was to be an actress, not a housewife with children. She portrayed Jenna Wade on the television series Dallas from 83 to 88, and Jane Spencer in Naked Gun film series from 1988 to 1994. On September 13, 1959, 14-year-old Priscilla met 24-year-old Elvis Presley at a party in Bad Nauheim, West Germany, during military service. Priscilla immediately, during lovemaking, wanted to consummate the relationship as she was instructed. As reported, the objective was to win Elvis by marrying him and immediately become wealthy, as the Beaulieus had 5 children. Elvis, of course, declined immediately and became wealthy as Elvis declined immediately as his career would certainly be affected. So Priscilla had become worried about Elvis rekindling his relationship with Anita Wood, whom he dated before and after his overseas service. But Priscilla also had other problems. According to biographer Suzanne Finstad, Priscilla was dating boys from her high school and seriously, namely Ron Tapp and Jamie Lindbergh. Priscilla was already very active in what one may call street smart. It's very unfortunate that Elvis never found out about it. Now, after Elvis returned to the United States, Priscilla constantly wrote letters wanting to come see him, and of course her parents allowed her to come in the summer of 1962, and Elvis was thrilled. Just making sure I didn't read this already, but we're going to go with it anyways. Elvis was thrilled. And I know I talked about some of this stuff, so I think we're probably rereading some of it. That's fine, though. It's important as well. My research found that Elvis was heartbroken at that time, as in 1961 he was filming Blue Hawaii with Joan Blackman, and in movie magazines it was announced that the press was saying that Elvis wanted to marry Joan. Elvis even requested that she be his co-star in his next movie, Kid Galahad, in 1962. Unfortunately, everything fizzled as Joan was already married and both had to part their separate ways. Now, if Elvis did marry Joan, Priscilla would automatically be history. So Priscilla got lucky and was with Elvis in 62 and enjoyed herself so much and begged her parents to go full-time to Graceland to fulfill her marriage duties. Now, no begging was needed. She was instructed to complete her mission in mid-March 1963. Now, Andrew did want to say this is for entertainment purposes only. This is what he what he said in his prior pages. We have to say that, right? He has to say that. Now we did read this section, but that's fine. Let me just make sure. Okay, we did read this. So I'm going to grab the next pages because you can read the rest of that on the second episode of Andrew's story. So we're actually on page 10. Sorry about that, Andrew, and sorry about that, subscribers. All right, so we talked about. In fact, Andrew referenced "Are You Lonesome Tonight" as a possibility of something that could have occurred, maybe not. Priscilla's second memoir does not explain why she, as she has put it softly, left Elvis. She only says that she didn't leave Elvis for Mike Stone. No mention about Steve Peck as he rejected her, and she regretted the relationship. But there are reports, but it does not mean they're true, that Priscilla had relationships in between Steve and Mike. Elvis discovered that Priscilla had relations with Marvin Gamble, as known as Gigi, who Elvis explained to the Sweet Inspirations that he left us suddenly to take care of personal matters. And once again, I got to go and say that this is Andrew's research, his opinion, and he says it's for entertainment purposes. Okay, I've heard something similar too. Also, at that time, in 1970, Elvis noticed that Priscilla looked pregnant, and he knew that it couldn't be his, as he was not sleeping with her, and to make the point that her affair with Steve Peck was a big mistake. Now, Priscilla turns this story around to defend herself. She says, Elvis told me that he couldn't sleep with a married woman with child. But when did Elvis tell you that? It was after Lisa Marie was born. It was when Priscilla was 14 in Germany. Hold on. Oh, it wasn't after Lisa Marie was born. It was when Priscilla was 14 in Germany. Now, once again, I can't confirm or deny that's correct. But I do believe that Andrew does great research, and more than likely he has a source or a reference of why he put that in there. Elvis was already explaining that he had no serious relations, especially with married women. So it was more about married women, I think, for Elvis, is what Andrew's trying to say here. So the question still needs to be answered, why Priscilla left Elvis? Well, in late 1970, Priscilla was doing whatever she wanted to do, but the press reported that Elvis allegedly had a child with Patricia Ann Parker, and she believed the story, which was untrue, because she already knew and she had already experienced a miscarriage. She wrote about this incident this way: I know I can do whatever I want, which was her affairs and miscarriage, but how can he do this to me? Have a child? How could he? Priscilla was still intimate with Elvis at that time, disregarding her original complaint that Elvis could not sleep with a married woman with a child. She has written that before, that she left Elvis as Elvis came out of the shower. I forgot all my complaints. He was like an Indian god to me, and that was the last time we were intimate. This is also verified in her interview with Loose Women, where Priscilla states that she was still intimate with Elvis after Lisa Marie was born. Doesn't Priscilla just contradict all the time? We're so used to that, right? Still, the reasons why she left to be with Mike Stone. My analysis shows that the reasons were very complex. I had to review what she had personally said to make my opinion. Firstly, she said that all of her girlfriends, it's more fun being single than married, while she was in Graceland. So her girlfriend knew she was going to leave Elvis. But the most important statement was in 1979. She said to the press in New York, when she asked about her physical life and what it was like, she responded, well, sex is everything to me. And when the truth comes out, people will be shocked. So 1979. When the truth comes out, people will be shocked. Maybe some of y'all have seen that quote, but Andrew is saying that she said to the press in New York when asked about her sex life and what it was like, she responded, sex is everything to me, and when the truth comes out, people will be shocked. Now, she was with Michael Edwards at the time, the alleged abuser of Lisa. To Michael, it didn't matter if Priscilla had other relations because he did too at the same time. But Elvis could not be tolerated in this kind of arrangement and marriage. Basically, nobody could. In other words, it shows that Priscilla wanted to act as single and married to Elvis at the same time, which is basically impossible, Andrew says. No wonder she didn't remarry again. Now, how Priscilla has worded her leaving went like this. I knew I had to make a critical decision regarding my destiny. I was beginning to doubt my own physicality as a woman. My physical and emotional needs were unfulfilled. So there we have it. Priscilla only left Elvis for her personal desires to be fulfilled by Mike Stone. All right. So I know that's not as long as we wanted to do it. I do have to get to work. I'm going to read page 11, 12, and 13 tomorrow. Remember, if you made it all the way this far, please, I'm going to stick this in a place right here so I don't reread anything. Remember, email me, okay? Just like y'all emailed me the Christmas pictures, I still want those too, by the way. Pictures of your trees. I'm going to incorporate it in a video, okay? You can do both at the same time. You can just put book and Christmas tree in the subject, okay? rareelvisphotos@gmail.com. It's going to be across the screen here, and it was earlier. Very, very important, okay? I am going to do an audiobook of this as well. It may be ready for the 1st of January. We will see. It's certainly very likely that I will have that as well. But the ebook, like I said, I'm going to make it available for pre-order for y'all for $1.99. So it's cheap enough. Shouldn't hurt anybody. And if you can't do it, maybe your children buy it for you. And then, of course, there's going to be a paperback. There's going to be large print versions as well. There's going to be hardcover as well. So yeah, I'm excited. And I'm excited for y'all. Y'all are part of this journey. Some of y'all might not like it. And some of y'all might buy it to see whether there's actually anything in there that's more believable now than the 1987 book. And if you have not read the 1987 Are You Lonesome Tonight, you should get it. You should buy it. You should read it, because I have always believed that you can't formulate an opinion or an educated opinion unless you really have read things. And we already know that Bill Burke, I covered that in the book, the Elvis historian in Memphis, didn't read the book, and he got everything wrong about it. I mean, literally, he misquoted it, or misquoted somebody who misquoted it. So his online opinion references don't hold any weight. They just don't. And I think you're going to discover with this new book that you missed a lot in Are You Lonesome Tonight, and that you missed that that there was not information that was even available in 1987 that confirms at least a high possibility that all of this did occur. Okay, and of course we're going to cover the rest of the years as well. But that's it. Have a wonderful day. This is Joe Sins, Rare Elvis Photos.